Hi, my name is Taylor Stepp. I'm a public affairs major in a second year. Currently, I'm a two-term senator for the Glenn School. I sit on the University Committee of Rec Sports, University District Safety Committee, and also University Senate.
Hi, I'm Kevin Arndt. I'm a third year majoring in political science and public affairs. I am currently a off-campus senator in USG. I'm also part of Community Ambassadors Program, brother of Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity, and member of University Senate as well.
So the first policy point that I'd like to go over is our 5-step safety plan. First, we're going to start with joint jurisdiction and mutual aid with not only Columbus Police Department, but also surrounding police departments. Number 2, we'd like a 10-year gradual increase through the fiscal committee for student safety services. 3, we would like a USG line item budget from Kevin and I that kind of fills in the holes for what student safety services left with the fiscal committee. Number 4, we would like a safe walk home program. So because we've all seen that the student escort services, can take a while to actually pick students up. So we want a number you can call to get a student to walk you home safely and legally. And 5, we want to make sure we educate students on wherever the crimes are happening off campus, show them maps, giving them digital readouts of exactly where the crime is happening so that students can make the best educated decision on where they should go off campus.
Fees and affordability is a huge issue for all of us at Ohio State. $3,516 is how much we pay in fees here. Taylor and I don't know where that money's going. That money needs to be going directly back to us as students. So Taylor and I, if elected, we are going to push the university so that that money goes back to us. And Taylor, you sat on the Rec Sports Committee. He got those free fitness classes for this quarter, was a part of doing that. So these are some of the issues that we can look at to get that money going directly back to us.
So, one of the biggest hallmarks of student government and one of the biggest perils is actually making sure that tuition is lowered. Right now, we have a 3.5 legal increase that the state can allow Ohio State University to raise their tuition. From what we've heard, the CFO, Jeff Chattis, that will again be raised for next year to 3.5%, the maximum with which university is allowed to do so. Kevin and I want to make sure that not only we're advocating to the CFO, to the financial branches of Ohio State to make sure that we are actually making sure that there is not a tuition increase, maybe not for next year, but the year following our term. And we also want to make sure we're going to be advocating at the state level to make sure that we have Pell Grants federally, and we also have other kind of subsidies coming from the government so we can help students afford college.
It's a big issue. Certainly, we're concerned about it. It's happening. We need that money to be, again, going to us as students. That money, again, it's happening, but we're here at Ohio State students. We're paying into this school, so that money, it needs to be allocated to us, essentially, is where we stand on that. And, that goes with working with university officials, advocating on behalf of students, really pushing so that our voice is heard, our concerns are met. So that money is going back to us.
I've been working with Nick Messenger and a lot of individuals through the RFQ stages of the process to make sure that we can actually see where we actually fit into this whole conversation. And that's a big part of where USG does. We make sure we fit in the right place. Are we advocating against the parking plan? No, the parking plan's already going to happen. They haven't accepted bids in its entirety, but we already have found people that applied and actually met the requirements for the privatization of parking. So what Kevin and I want to do is, like he said, get that money back to students. And we definitely do agree with Dr. Gee in the sense that whatever is not going to the very, very basis of what this university stands for, and that's the educational aspect, then we should consider selling it off because we have a $1 billion deficit in our endowment, and we want to make sure that we can make that up and make sure that students do not fit the bill for that. So things will probably be on the table next year, such as selling off Scarlet and Gray, our golf courses, and also selling off our airport. And Kevin and I will face those challenges as they come based on the specific amount of money that will be attached to those and exactly where the university wants to put that money, but most importantly, how they deal with the privatization of parking, where that money goes comparatively to what we're seeing it in for the 50-year lease. So we want to make sure that money gets back to students fundamentally.
Hate has no place at Ohio State. It simply does not. It simply does not because this is our Buckeye community and we do not stand for stuff like that. We don't, and working with BSA, working with these organizations that have been affected personally by this, that we all have, but really it was targeted towards a certain group of individuals. Working with those individuals is paramount in making sure that this is addressed because, again, there is no place for this in our Buckeye community. We will not stand for it.
one of our biggest assets at Ohio State is diversity. This is an extremely diverse campus, and especially in the middle of the Midwest. This is something that we need to hold very dear to our hearts. We need to protect our diverse students. We need to protect all of our students in general. And we need to make sure nothing like this happens ever again. And Kevin and I will make sure that we take specific stands on all of these specific hate crimes. I'm actually working on the racism task force that Dr. J has put together in response to the issues that occurred not only yesterday, but the past 3 days before that. And I'm the only member of USG that's actually going to be sitting on that task force. We want to make sure that our students here are protected. We want to make sure that our students here have a voice. We want to make sure that our students here are our #1 priority in all that we do, but especially instances of hate and other forms of intolerance is just purely unacceptable.
Biggest challenge, a big reason why I wanted to get involved with USG was because I was a community ambassador, and I saw USG as a great organization that could really help the off-campus community. I represent the off-campus community and students. And I saw student government as a great way to, work with community ambassadors, because it made no sense for me that community ambassadors and off-campus senators did not work together. They didn't, not at all. We had very little contact or no communication. So I want to make sure if I was elected a senator in the off-campus area that our two organizations did work together, because it made no sense that we didn't. So what we did is we did work together when we actually had a very successful comprehensive salt distribution initiative in the off-campus area. USG and community ambassadors worked hand in hand to get that done. It was ironic that there wasn't much snow this winter, but I mean, we saw last winter that there was a ton. So I mean, we have that initiative rolling. We have made contact with each other's organizations, and hopefully in the future we can continue to work together to really make an impact and a difference in the off-campus community.
The biggest challenge that I personally faced in the last year was for me just learning exactly where USG fit into the structure of everything at Ohio State. It's hard to kind of box USG and say, USG is an advocacy organization. They're a funds distribution organization. It's much more unique than that. And on issues like the parking, or not parking, the privatization of parking, the catering outside the union resolutions that passed, and also I've worked with Project Run for Life to make sure they get funding, and many of the things I've worked on, they've all been very uniquely tied to university administrators. And those conversations with university administrators come from a very odd place, because you can't, you can't demand things from university administrators. Our biggest power in USG, I believe, is the fact that we have members on university senate, we have members on university committees that can actually, sway votes, and they can lobby those people. But you can't walk into a room and say, this is my agenda and I want this to happen immediately. It's much more of a process than that. And that was my biggest challenge this year, is finding exactly how to go about doing that. And I think I've been pretty successful, and I've accomplished some things I'm really proud of.
Semesters, I mean, it's affecting us all. It will affect us all. We need to work together, not only student government and university officials, but other student organizations and other students on campus. We're all going through it. There's not a single person that will not be affected by semesters. So we all must work together, all must, transition. We're gonna have some bumps in the road, and we're not gonna, it's not gonna be a perfect transition. But through working together, through understanding each other, communication, collaboration, we can get through it, and we will get through it. So.
I see safety as the biggest concern. Again, last year, in the fall quarter, we had a huge amount of crimes, and I don't know the specific amount, but we had a lot, many more than needed to happen. And the fact that we're moving, to the beginning of classes in August, so we're going to have a warmer time period for crimes to happen with more students. I think it's a pretty fair assumption to make that, given the trends we've seen at Ohio State, where the warmer it is, the more crimes seem to happen, the safety is going to be a huge issue. I think that we're going to effectively make a stand with Kevin and I's 5-step safety plan. I think we're going to move forward in this university. We're going to do some big things with safety, and most importantly, we're going to force the university to take a stand on safety and put students first instead of the university first.
We believe students should vote for us because we are passionate about caring and serving students. I mean, I've been a part of as many things as I can here at Ohio State, and I've seen, you know, what student government can possibly do for them. Because we're all here, we all came here, Ohio State, we all have a Buckeye state of mind, and that's what we're here to do, serve students.
Yeah, I think that, you know, like Kevin said, we bring student government back to students. Every student at this university will be able to say, Taylor and Kevin did this for me after our first year in office, and that's really why they should vote for us.